We here. We here. We here. We here for y'all. We here for y'all. We missed y'all last week, but we here for y'all. I was under the weather last week. Yeah, I was down bad, so I'm I'm not sorry. I can't help being sick, but I'm here. I'm here today. I'm here to talk to y'all. We missed y'all. We missed our conversation last week. I'm trying to think if anything else happened over the weekend. It was a holiday weekend, so you know how that go. But we made it. Together we made it. We made it even though our backs is against the wall. We made it. We got a show for y'all tonight. That's all I'm gonna say. We got a show for y'all tonight. So yeah, there's that. There you go. With the turban. Oh, turban now. Do I look like
What?
do I look like a turban guy to you?
This
Do
is
I
not.
say do
That's
you want a
not a.
slurpee?
It's
You
not
want
a.
a slurpee?
It's
This
not
is
a
a
turban.
Brooklyn accent.
That's offensive.
I'm fucking Brooklyn.
It's so offensive. It's so
What, the
offensive.
turban?
Yeah, that movie, just in
Oh,
general, the more like
the movies for sure is offensive,
the older
but
we get, it's
I
just
didn't make the
super
movie.
offensive. I know, no, it's funny, but I'm just
I
saying, like,
didn't
there's a lot of
make the
people.
movie. I just enjoyed it. You feel me?
There's a lot of people
Um,
at this point that would say it's a very offensive film. That's all I'm saying.
I think it was intended to be that way. But let's get it started. Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to All Done Pod. Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to the All Done Podcast. I'm DJ J Shakes, the chosen one. That's my brother Tracy. Tracy, how you doing, man?
Yo, man, it's another day, man. So I'm here for the family, ready to chop it up. So
We
I'm glad to
here.
see you. We missed you last week, man.
Man, yeah, I was down bad last week. I don't know. I came down with a cold or something. I tested negative for the ultimate, but
Thought
you
you
know
had
we
that
good.
Rona.
Nah, yeah. Well, I just test to be safe. I'm better safe than sorry. It was bad.
Yeah,
I took a day off work. I don't do that too often
yeah.
because I don't be doing nothing at work. So why would I take a day off? You feel me?
You gotta okay.
But I was bad. I struggled to get out the bed.
Yeah, I
It
get
was
it. I
rough.
get it. I get it. I get
Um,
it. Podcast
yeah.
life.
Podcast life. Life be life. It
I
was
understand.
crazy. We don't have no type of format or nothing for tonight. We just winging it for y'all. We winging it for
Yeah,
y'all tonight, and
yeah, but we
it's been a
got two
lot going
weeks.
on.
Yeah, we got 2 weeks of stories. There's been
We for
things. There's been
sure
things.
have weeks of stories, and there's been a
There's
lot of
been
things
things.
going on. So,
Yeah.
um,
There might even be a special guest. I don't know. I think one of our childhood friends who we'd like to get in front of the audience,
mhm,
maybe at some point.
yeah,
Yeah, so he might join or he might not.
I didn't give
But you
my
know,
my 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 starting little tidbit, but I'll save it for the end. How about that?
whatever you want, player. I
I'll
could
save
cut
it for
it,
the end.
flip it, and reverse it. That's cool.
No,
Whatever you want.
no, no, don't make me weird, bro. I'm not gonna do all that. I'll just save it for the end. But yo, what you want to talk about? What's some things that's going on in the world today?
I mean, we gotta
Um,
start. We gotta start with the black man that's making all black men proud right now, right? You gotta start with that.
which one? Who's that? Who's making
My
all black
brother,
men proud?
my brother Prime. He's making all of us
Oh,
proud.
I told y'all. See, we ain't got to talk about that because I told y'all. I told y'all
Don't
we
do
coming.
that. Don't
When we
do
talked
that.
about college football, when
Don't
my
do
boy left Jackson State, and
it.
I
Dragging
said
it.
I'm going to Boulder. What? I'm dragging it.
Don't drag
Shout
it.
out to Prime B. Shout out to Prime because I told y'all when he left, I'm going to Jackson State with him, and we coming. I mean to Colorado with him, and we coming. And you doing that because we on your schedule, and that's what you don't want to talk about.
I mean, we can talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. I mean,
The
if you want to be honest,
the USC Colorado game, what is it, September 23rd?
it's coming
It's
up.
September
It'll be here before
23rd.
you know
And
it.
you
It'll be
know
here
that
before you know it.
9 times out of 10, the way it's going in the trajectory right now, the winner of that game is going to end up winning the Heisman. Let's just
Okay,
be real about it.
listen, we could talk about a lot of things, but I'm more talking about the societal implications of Dion's flair and his arrogance, as so distinctly put it, and what they're putting on that brother from a societal standpoint. Less the fact that Caleb Williams is gonna make it rain on y'all bitch asses in a couple weeks. I'm not talking about that's not what's important. What's important is how society is treating a black man with the same bravado as Nick Saban, as Kirby Smart, as some of these other head coaches have had for generations.
And I'm gonna
right?
tell
But
you
all
what
of a
it
sudden,
is.
go ahead, give it to me.
It
Why?
looks
Why is Deion
different than
making
they're used to making it look. You know,
it?
when you got the Nick Sabans and the Kirbys, and even let's go to NFL, the Belichicks. You know, they do the interviews as real kind of low key, almost like an Eeyore type vibe. He's
Not
telling
not
you,
the college guys. I give you the Belichick one, but Nick done had some fiery ones, and
he's had fiery moments.
Kirby done
Kirby
had some
stay up,
fiery ones.
and,
He's peppy.
but still, it doesn't look the same. It don't got that same touch on it. It ain't got that prime effect as we so eloquently call it.
Okay.
It's the prime effect, baby,
All right.
and
Well,
it just
people.
looks different than they're used to seeing it.
Okay, that's
You
one
know,
take on it. There are people that
hmm
are saying that he is really, really, really celebrating this first win a little too hard. There are people saying that it's
I'm.
one win,
Here's the
and
question.
that's
Here's the question. Have you seen him really celebrate the win? I mean, he did the interview right after that every other coach does.
yeah. And he was talking to the reporter, asking him, does he believe now?
Yeah, I mean, as he should, because coming up to it, you got the same. Oh well, y'all haven't done nothing. You haven't won anything. You won in the SWAC and with the HBCU and the FCS or whatever, or whatever, whichever one it is.
Yeah,
But
they were
you
20-point dogs, and he came from the SWAC. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, or, as they said on the TV, the black college, a black school, which
which
that's a
was
whole nother
said,
conversation.
which was really said, and I
Which is a
think,
whole nother
yeah,
conversation. But it like I said, so now he asking them like, yo, y'all said all this leading up until this. Y'all told me it's a different ball game. It's more competition is better. Now we played the team that was in the national championship last year and got a W. All he asks is, do you believe in me now?
okay. Listen,
It's a yes or no question. Either you believe or you don't.
I'm not opposed, but I think the distinguished manner in which people have approached him and his bravado is interesting, especially coming from. I think a lot of people are going to watch Colorado this year to see them lose, and like I said, regardless of what we're going to do to y'all at the end of this month, I want Prime to be successful because I think that's a black man that is representing black men correctly. And that's
I
something
mean,
that we don't see enough.
you say he's representing them correctly? Yeah, exactly. He's doing it with. It's crazy because he's doing it with class, and if you actually listen to him, he's a very humble character.
Extremely.
It's just, but he's still letting you can be humble and still let somebody know, like, I know who I am and what I'm capable of.
No, he walks that line very well.
Yeah. So, like I said, and it always happens if you have a certain hue or got a certain complexion for protection, and you do stuff like that, they'll say stuff like you're scrappy. He's a real scrappy guy. Or if he's a Latino descendant, oh, he's a firecracker.
Yeah, Modelo's got several campaigns around that energy.
He's a firecracker. He's scrappy, but or white guy. He's a gym rat. He's just he carries himself by the bootstraps. He's a real go get it.
But not Prime though.
Not Prime. Oh, he's cocky. He's arrogant. He's this. He's that. He's third. He says, "I want to win. I am a winner. I win."
That's true too.
They did the same thing with Coach Boone and the whole remember the Titans.
All right, so their line to open up Vegas was 3.5. Do you believe 3.5 was the line that they opened up for a win total this year? They obviously, I think a lot of people are jumping on that at this point. If it's even still 3.5, I don't know what it is now, but it opened up.
What was it before the first game, before the TCU upset?
It was 3.5.
It was 3.5.
It was 3.5.
I came off rip and I said 7.
Okay.
I changed it at first to maybe 5, 6, because I looked at the schedule. But now, the first game I thought that might be an L. We got the W.
Pac-12 is on fire right now. I think we got 6 teams that are in the AP 25.
Oh yeah, Pac-12 going crazy.
Yeah,
going crazy. Oregon beat somebody by didn't they put up 81?
Yeah, they smoked somebody.
Y'all got a dub. What was y'all final?
Don't even worry about that. That's just we doing what we supposed to do. Utah beat a team without their starting quarterback. The Pac-12, a division that I think a lot of people thought wasn't going to be much, is starting to look good. And I know we don't always talk sports here, but it's the beginning of the sports season, so we're going to touch on a little bit of sports stuff.
It's crazy because as much as we love sports, on our podcast we don't touch on sports.
I don't think that's what gets the people going. I think this next topic that we didn't cover, because we did take last week off, Donald Trump's mugshot. I mean, we got to circle back to that. It's no way
we didn't touch on Donald Trump mugshot.
Yeah, we missed last week. So the mugshot, I believe, came out on a Tuesday, and we took that next Wednesday off.
I could have sworn it came out the week before.
No,
or
I don't
maybe
think it did.
Yeah. I know we were waiting for him to go. He got his mugshot. He was in and out in 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, but I think it's worth mentioning because I've heard a lot of people celebrating, and I think my take might be a little bit different. You want to give yours first?
I mean, I told you it's not a good look for the country.
Indeed.
Your former leader, your former commander-in-chief, he's being processed and stuff like that. So don't get me wrong. I believe he should be held accountable for all of his actions for sure.
Okay.
And, but I don't think it looks good. Just like with the whole Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky thing, it wasn't a good look for us as a nation. And
that's not quite this. Though. It's a little different.
No, one is either way. It's not a good look for us as a nation.
No.
So
no, come on now, don't do that, right? Because as much as I'm not a Bill Clinton sympathizer, I'm not gonna put fellatio next to federal indictments. That just right.
What I'm saying is,
that's not cool.
What I'm saying is it still wasn't the scandal. Whether it's a scandal or this is still a scandal, it's just a different type of scandal.
No, this is criminal. What he did is criminal.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's something like 91 charges.
Maybe Bill Clinton, maybe there's some misdemeanor in there if you really want to dig down.
He more got in trouble for lying about it.
But it's, maybe there's some ethical issue. And again, please believe, I'm not a sympathizer of Bill.
No, but you're trying to say you're just getting a little,
I'm not.
You good?
I'm not trying to say that because there is another.
I'm going to hold your feet to the fire.
There is another video of a police officer who was caught.
We're gonna get to that too. But right now we're talking. So you feel me? You're saying you don't see nothing wrong.
I didn't say that. In fact, I said the exact opposite.
No, you said you're not sympathizing, meaning you don't feel bad for him.
Yeah, no, he should get in trouble because ethically and morally, those are not
because
things.
He's got a little, some sexual favors.
I mean, God damn it, all crimes are not created equal. You know this.
That's a fact. But when it comes to the highest office in the world,
all crimes are definitely not created equal. You know this.
Still, but all crimes are multiplied.
I mean, there's a
magnified.
Yeah, there's a magnification on any bad act. But at the end of the day, criminal is criminal and non-criminal is non-criminal.
That's a fact.
So we're not
going
to criminalize people that are. Now, with that being said, and this is where I take a little turn in the piece that I want to bring up on Trump is, the first thing is, I don't know if it's going to have the effect that certain Democratic Party members might think it's going to have. Because I think his base is rallied by shit like this. Right? So while you think you're tearing down this monster and stopping him from getting notoriety, the people that follow him ran up in a Capitol building and people, they were ready to kidnap. It was a real thing. They tried to take over the government.
Yeah.
You're not about to put that fire out by telling those people he's a criminal. In fact, you are quite possibly inciting them more is my theory on the matter.
Yeah, for sure. You're making him a martyr in a sense, and that's what's crazy about it. So they're gonna rally behind him, make America great again, even though you got a fucking criminal record and it's a felony.
Well,
these felonious crimes he's facing, right? Some of them.
Man, there are some. There's at this point. I would say at this point there are so many charges and dings. My question that I wanted to ask you though is, do you think, would you be shocked if he still became the president?
These days I'm not shocked by anything.
Okay, because a lot of people are saying no way he's got it. Okay.
These people don't care.
All right,
they don't care. He's he gives people room to be ignorant. And that's why what I've always said, even if you looked at some of our prior episodes where I said Trump doesn't scare me personally. It's the voice he gives to a lot of ignorance that worries me a little bit. And I'm not necessarily scared. Yeah.
I'm on the opposite side.
He makes a lot of people feel bold and, try that in a small town. That's how people feel.
Yo, you see what happened when they tried it in a small town.
I see what happened when they tried it in a small town. Shout out to the gun.
But here's my point. Here's my point, though. Here's my point.
Uh-huh.
So you're saying you prefer the liberal over what is now in 2023 what is considered a Democrat? Well, a Republican rather.
You said I prefer the liberal over that? What do you mean, like as far as how I vote?
Yeah, so you prefer the Uncle Joe brand of racism than the Trump brand of racism. I feel
like you're asking me my political standpoint, and I don't want to talk about my political views. We're not talking about my political views.
Oh, my bad. I thought this was a podcast where you came on here to discuss your views. I didn't know we were hiding our views.
I discuss my views on a lot of things. I also don't talk about my religious standpoint either. So what we
okay, well, this is absurd. Let me just give you what I feel in my sentiments.
All right, no, I'll answer. So am I more on the liberal side?
Because that's what you just said. You said you don't want those people emboldened to feel that they have a leader that will embolden them
to do with the politics side of it.
Of course,
that has something to do. No. Listen, that has something to do with me riding across country, and I might stop in a small town, and the former commander in chief, or makes them feel like, oh well, he got my back, and then now I'm trying to defend myself. Never mind, I'm not even gonna say it.
All right, well, that brings me to, and I don't want to leave the Trump thing just yet, but obviously the massacre happened down in Jacksonville where 3 black people were killed, and a lot of people are blaming DeSantis, myself included, for fanning those flames, and his wife, they're wearing derogatory materials on coats where woke comes to die, and they have all this derogatory messaging over the last couple of months, and then, all of a sudden, this white supremacist comes and he murders these 3 black people in the Dollar General. And I haven't seen an indictment come down for DeSantis yet. And so my brand is not one of, I don't want black people's head in the sand when we're dealing with racism, white supremacy, because you got to be able to see it coming.
Yeah.
And so.
And understand what it is and how it works.
Yeah. So because if Trump's in office or if he's not, right? We just seen what happened in Jacksonville a week ago, right? And Trump's not in office.
He's still, wait. But he's still blasted on everything you watch and see. No?
Yeah, but Trump, and I don't want, and that's the other piece I wanted to mention when we talked about Trump and his indictments and his possible political campaign coming up here soon. Do you think it would have been different? Do you think white supremacy came with Trump?
No.
Because that's what a lot of people make it seem like.
No, absolutely not. And that'd be absurd to think and believe something like that. But like I said, it gives it a bold new face.
Or it just lets black people ignore the face that's been there the whole time.
No, I don't think it lets, because whether we want to set, we can't ignore it.
You can. That's not true. People ignore it every day. You see black politics. This Jacksonville thing happened, and you have black political figures and black figureheads in leadership positions. They're taking it right back to black on black crime. I heard a black political figurehead say, well, black people need to stop killing each other, and that starts with abortions. Black people have deflected to everything else but this white supremacist male walking in a store and killing black people simply because they're black. And that is not a Trump problem.
No.
Right?
No, it's not. And it didn't just start with Trump.
Okay.
But on the same token, when the last time before Trump did people storm a Capitol?
Charlottesville. And I think he was he might have been in office under Charlottesville.
I want to say he was in office during the
He
show.
might have, yeah, he might have,
He
yeah,
was
good
like
people.
just
Yeah,
getting
he
in
called them
office
good
or
people.
something like
Yeah, he
that.
called them good people, very
Exactly.
nice
Or
people, or something
he was
like that.
he was running for office.
Okay,
Either
but
way.
okay, so you got Trayvon Martin.
And that still wasn't the capital. That was a capital of,
yeah, I mean, yeah, there were
you
people.
know.
My
I'm talking
point
about the
is,
capital. They was in D.C. with it,
so what are
going
you trying?
crazy.
What are you trying to say? A couple weeks ago, we were on this podcast and we seen white supremacist groups marching through D.C. This is not Trump's not in office right now, but we seen white supremacist.
It doesn't matter. Every other news story is Trump.
I don't understand what that means.
It's the carryover. They're still being emboldened by "Make America Great Again." So really, MAGA needs to be investigated as a terrorist group, as a
I'm not debating that. Group. Sure, let's get some Ricos popping on the Proud Boys, Oath Keep, all those white supremacists. Let's do that. That's fine. But my point to black people is, it's not you don't have a Trump problem with a Jacksonville white supremacist walking in a Dollar General murdering people. That's not a Trump problem.
Not at all.
That is an American problem.
I agree.
And it's not because Trump didn't embolden him. White supremacy's been around long before Trump was born, before he even existed in the country.
Yeah. No, that's a fact, and it's crazy. I'm gonna tell you what's crazy, because I was looking this up the other day, just because of a conversation I was having. Mm-hmm. You see all these different groups, right? With the Proud Boys, and I call them, all the MAGA groups. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna call all the MAGA groups.
Big, I call them big stand up or big stand back and stand by, or whatever.
Yeah, whichever one you want to call them, right? And they call them, but when we have different groups or organizations that,
as you're playing CNN in the background right now, which is hilarious. I just got it for the digital streaming folks that can't see it.
Yeah,
and they got the CNN rocking right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on my background presence and all that.
I have no affiliation with any political party. I just want that to be said. At least I don't.
Nah,
go ahead.
But as you see these things, I mean, as you hear of these different groups and things like that, and they're called, like you said, Proud Boys, Stand Back and Stand By, Good Boys, and all that other
whatever
stuff. When we have groups that preach for us to, embrace and take care of our own, we get called domestic terrorists. And one group I was looking up in particular was because we was having this conversation within my family group chat. I was looking up people that call themselves 5%ers, and I forgot the other name they had for them, but they were investigated and their leader ended up being killed as, a terrorist group or an extremist group, and all their messages is, I mean, their ultimate belief, I'm not going to say whether I agree or disagree with it, but their ultimate belief is that, black men are the original man, and, we're different than the other 95%.
But the point, okay, fine, the point is
whatever.
Simple. Yeah.
But the ultimate message was, pretty much black empowerment and things of that nature.
Always.
Yeah.
But so the overarching,
and they started calling them like a black supremacy group and pretty much a domestic terrorist.
Yeah, well, a couple of years ago, the FBI came out and labeled people that have that mentality as black identity extremists, and this was in a very recent time. This wasn't 60
and throughout our time, we get labeled with these things, just like, for what? Because I'm telling my people to be proud of who you are.
Yeah, it's called a deflection. Right? Because if I have you worried about some nonsense like black identity extremists, then you're not worried about the havoc and the chaos and the terror that those other groups that we mentioned are causing to our community. So I try not to worry about the deflections, but I need people to very, very clearly understand Trump is not the problem. Trump is he's a symptom. That's fine.
He's a symptom. I like it.
And that's fine. If people wanted to say that, I'd agree. But getting him in or out, and I think, again, politicians can be useful to us, right? And I don't look at Trump as any different. If our community came to him and had a tangible thing and had some paper behind it and had some steam behind it, I think we could have got him to do some things for us. But we had our quote unquote leaders. From my understanding, the Congressional Black Caucus wouldn't even sit down with Trump to discuss things for our community simply because of his stigma of racism. Right. Now, am I saying that he's not a flaming racist? No, I pretty much believe that 100%. But in the role that
You
he
think he
was
a racist or
in,
was he an opportunist?
no, I think he's a racist. I think his entire family. I think there are families, and this is my personal belief, but I think there are political families that have come so deep from American westernization, from what this country was built
Yeah.
off, that you can't even see anymore that, hey man, writing a letter against these 5 black kids who didn't commit this crime, probably racist.
Probably, yeah.
Central Park
Probably
5.
bad idea.
Or,
Yeah. I know you're talking about.
my family, my father has these buildings, and black people, I don't really want to rent to them. Oh, that's discriminating. Well, they can't even see it. There's a level of blinding that is so blinding that it's like, I don't even know. He doesn't understand that co-signing a group like the Proud Boys in that moment on a on a presidential debate, he can't see that, like, oh, this is a problem. This is an issue. I probably shouldn't
Going
co-sign
to
these
Puerto
people.
Rico and free throwing some
Paper
paper
towels.
towels at them.
He can't see it. Now, am I cool?
Isn't the way.
Is that a justification? Absolutely not. He's still a racist, but some of these people are so jaded and just don't understand. Okay, fine. And again, black people, it's not our job to make them understand. I don't care if he understands or whether he doesn't. But at the time when he's holding the highest political office in the land, for the Congressional Black Caucus to ever say we won't sit down with him because he's a racist, so give us nothing, give us no talk, give us no tangible, give us no conversation, give us no policy for 4 years until he gets out so you can have a conversation with someone who you quote unquote like better?
I think it was Hidden Colors where they said,
great series too.
Yeah, great series. It's four parts.
It's five parts.
When the 5th one dropped? Yeah, I'm pretty sure we had this conversation
a couple years ago. I'll send them to you. I'm gonna get you that for Christmas. All 5.
All 5?
All 5.
I'm sure Lindsay's gonna love it when we sitting there with the kids watching this.
Beautiful documentary. If you haven't seen it, Hidden Colors 1 through 5, please go buy that. Do not bootleg it. Go buy it.
But now, when you said some of the best racists love black people, and honestly, I got no problem with some of the biggest racists because honestly, they sign my paycheck, and
it's not personal.
Yeah, it's not personal. It's a business transaction. So, and that's just being realistic. Yeah.
But do you think people, once they see Jacksonville, I've seen a lot of people who are scared of that, who are scared of the Jacksonville situation coming to a town near you. And because of that, you don't want to speak out and say, hey, this is racist, this is wrong, and we should get justice, and there should be crime and hate crime bills the same way other people and other groups get hate crime bills. The same thing should happen for us. It just simply doesn't seem to be happening.
For sure. But the thing is, that's not even blowing up enough. And what I mean by that, like you sent me the story, I didn't know what the hell happened in Jacksonville.
Exactly. Welcome. Come to the All Done Podcast where you can hear all the relevant news.
Yeah, and maybe that we'll make that a part of our weekly topics. Like we go down through the mass shootings.
And I think we do. We try to get through like the relevance.
The relevance. You know how I am on it. Like I get so tired of hearing it and seeing it. Like I kind of gotta get my mind off of it.
No, I love that you said that because that is the mentality of the majority of black people. They are like, yo, I don't want to watch it. And for you, I know it doesn't, because you're not watching it, it doesn't negate it to you. It doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. But to many people, if they can tune it out, if they can miss enough posts, miss enough articles, miss enough murder, then they'd be like, okay, well, it's not happening. I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, it's good. It's like hiding your head under the cover from the boogeyman. But
he's still gonna get your ass.
Yeah, he's still gonna get you if he wants you. But yeah. Or like I said, what was it in Buffalo where it happened before?
It did. I mean, it happens so much.
It happens everywhere. But I'm just saying that was blasted or whatever. But this one didn't make the news as much. And
I think it could have been more. I think a lot of our political leaders I've seen saying. I heard one, and I'm not going to call any names because, again, this is not about people. It's not about tearing down a person. It's about the ideologies that we can have real conversations and civil discourse about. I've seen one political figure supposed to be ahead of black people, and he was talking about, I don't want this maniac. He said, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said something to the effect of, I don't want this maniac's act to cause division amongst Americans.
Yeah, and that's just
That is insane.
flat out putting it in our face.
That's
Yeah, like
insane. That is an
yeah.
insane
And
statement to make.
what's crazier about that situation and that story is the FBI saying, "Oh, there were more threats against HBCUs and things like that."
See
So
that,
that's something that needs to be blasted. Like yeah, and situations like this is why.
Or we could just protect those people, right? Like we could send.
That's where I was going.
Yeah.
Situations like this is why. Well, you talking about through legislation?
Yeah, I'm talking about Uncle Joe, who y'all begged me to go vote for. Uncle Joe, you can go ahead and send some federal troops to these HBCUs. You can go ahead and say, hey, it's a hate crime bill, and we will not tolerate it. And so it's going to be a problem. We're talking about maybe even bringing back capital punishment in places. And I'm not a proponent of capital punishment, but you have to do something in a real way. No, I'm not really. I abhor violence, but there has to be something done from the legislative body.
Do what violence?
I abhor violence.
There we go. Tracy word drop of the week. Abhor violence. What's the definition?
Again, you have to do something. Is my point, Mr. Biden. You have to. I don't want you to go to Howard and tell. Uncle Joe, I don't want you to go to Howard and tell us how much you understand that white supremacy is a thing. Duh, we've been saying that your whole career. We've been telling you that your whole career. You've been in politics for 50 years, my guy. We've been telling you that your whole career. But somehow now you want to go to the HBCU. And I'm sorry, because it does that part does frustrate me. Yeah, because I don't need you to come and abhor is to regard with extreme repugnance.
And do abhor violence.
I abhor violence.
Okay. All right. So and I agree with what you're saying that legislation needs to protect us and our people.
It should, because we pay taxes.
Sure. And we do pay taxes. I pay taxes on a regular I pay taxes on a regular basis. I had to think about something.
Oh my God.
But I'm good. I pay my taxes. I had to think about something for real.
All right, go ahead.
But also these so-called extremist groups that y'all call us having, like the Black Panthers, that's who they there for that reason, because you guys won't protect us, but somebody has to do it.
I want to say that too. It's cause and effect, right? The Panthers, Deacons of Defense, Black Liberation Army. I can name a list of these types of groups. Even if, hey, FBI, if you want to say Black identity extremists in the 21st century,
whatever you want to call them.
If that's a real thing, that is an effect to the cause, right? That is not the problem. That is a response to a problem.
There are people that's aiming, like targeting a community, and we just keep saying, oh, well, no, we're going to pray about it. We're going to hold hands. No, like, we got to protect our youth. Like, we always speak about how, we want us to go to school, do this, that, and the third, which is fine, because I don't knock that. I'm all for that. But then make sure when my child goes to school at an HBCU or any other university, it could be a PWI. It don't matter. Make sure my child is safe.
I agree.
Make sure my niece and nephew, my brother and sister, make sure they're safe.
It feels like Ruby Bridges 60 years later. Who Ruby Bridges is the first Black girl to desegregate her school and had to be escorted in her school by federal agents.
Yeah.
And I know people are going to say that's, hyperbole, but I'm not sure it is.
That old myth.
Again, these things happened, and if another shooting, and I'm telling all my folks at schools and all these types of things, hey, you got to be aware, and maybe it's not fair, and you shouldn't have to, and hey, the reality is the reality, right? So when you're walking around, you need to be much more aware of your surroundings, and it, unfortunately, it could end up saving your life because people are really, looking to harm us, and that's not something that we we can really tolerate moving forward. With that being said, I don't know if you've seen it, but the sister that got hit with the brick, we have to discuss it.
How we get to that already? You want to put something in between that?
It's violence against Black people, and I'm not sure. A lot of people are saying this is hoax, and it's been But I think
even if it is, it's still realistic because hey brothers, my kings.
all right, well, tell the story first. So you want to?
I
Do you
don't
know the
even know
story?
the full story.
All right, so
Pretty
let me
much to
give
sum it
you the
up,
gist. Yeah,
I can
go give
obviously
the
I can
gist.
sum it up.
Okay, sum it up.
A brother tried to court a young lady, to sum it up.
And I would say
And
court. He wasn't trying to court
he
her.
was trying
That's
to
not the right.
holler at her.
Oh, he was trying to run down. Court is like a formal. Hey, let me take you out on a date. Hold your hand. I don't think
Try to
that's
court. Courting changes over time. Either way, he tried to holler at
okay.
Shorty, and
It's
she
2023
pretty
court.
much, rejected his advances.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if words was exchanged. Like I said, I kind of just seen some of it, and to sum it up, he hit her in the face with a brick.
Yeah,
that's pretty much the gist of it, right?
that is
I'm sure she
the gist
went
of
to
the
the
story.
hospital, of course.
Yeah.
Her face was all swollen from the pictures I've seen. But let me tell you something,
Go
brothers.
ahead.
When you try to holler at someone, it's just that it's an attempt. It's an attempt. She is well within her right to say no. For whatever reason she wants to. She can say no. It could be, maybe it's a bad time for her. Maybe, maybe she's married. Maybe she got a boyfriend. Maybe she has a girlfriend. Who knows? But whatever the case may be, she's allowed to say no.
I like that. We're inclusive here on the ADP.
One thing you got to understand is, and you know what? That's part of trying to court someone or approach someone, is the risk of embarrassment. Hey, that's the thing. You're making yourself vulnerable. You're putting yourself out there. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But don't in turn hit in the face with a damn brick. That shit's crazy.
It is. A point I've seen brought up is and this is something that I think we've brought up before, is the concept of everything being attached to all black men. And I have to bring it up, right? Because I had to bring it up in the Tory Lanez situation. Tory Lanez is Canadian. Mm-hmm. Tory Lanez is not Black American. And so as everyone else who's always like distinguishing when y'all do something positive, I'm not sure this was a Black American man who did this. So while I agree with my brother's sentiments 100%, brothers, if she says no, then no is no. Walk away. Go get the next one. There's billions of women on the planet Earth. You can find one. I think we've said that on this podcast before. Somebody likes you. Somebody likes you, right?
I'm reading the comments. People get disrespectful when they get rejected. People need to learn how to accept rejection and move on. There's no reason to physically or verbally assault someone because they are not interested. Exactly.
And even if they no, because I don't know, no, because I think this is a good point that brothers also need to hear. Yo, brothers, sometimes ladies are gonna get flagrant. So if you out here campaigning, you gonna.
That's why I said you're making you're allowing yourself to be vulnerable. She might know.
She might
you
get
a bum.
she might
do all that. I've seen Shorty get crazy. She might get. You would talk to me. She might, bro. You know what?
She might. And if you got, but the kicker of me personally, I've always loved that part of the game because I don't know. It always just makes me feel like, okay, cool. Like either I really need to step it up, or I need to tighten my mouthpiece up, or it makes me reflect on my
friend.
Yeah,
and make you look stupid.
It doesn't matter. It makes me want to be better in myself. Yeah, but for my fellas out there who, when a woman gets flagrant, that's not a cue for you to get violent. That's still a female. She could be in her feelings. She could, alcohol could be involved most of these times.
So many things.
It is not. It is not a
face with a brick.
It is not a cute. Yeah, that's long story short. Don't keep your hands to yourself.
She get flagrant and you wanna get spicy and roast her. That's do your thing. She opened that floodgate.
They do that. I wouldn't even say do that.
For it. No, I'm funny. So you try to come to me crazy. I'm on the.
No,
I'm
really?
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Who?
You gonna give it up like that? That's how you gonna give it up?
Bro. You know I would, bro. It's just because it's not necessary. And that really was. You know I'm gonna flame something up.
She said, "No, fat man, you can't mess with me." Like, yeah, shorty, that's why your weave line is not down the middle of your forehead. Like, your weave line is mad left.
Yeah.
You gonna go back and forth with a female?
Not back and forth. I'm gonna hit one.
You got a one line.
Boom.
You got a one line.
Yeah, and walk away. Put my AirPods back in. She say what she want. I won.
Okay. All right. My partner is a little different than me. My advice would be, listen, man, there's a lot of women out here. And trust me, even the dustiest brothers, we know some dusty brothers in our lifetimes, we know some
We got
dusty brothers,
shorties. It's
and
just
they got girls.
there's
So
someone
it's
for
not,
everyone.
yeah,
There's someone for
exactly.
everyone.
You don't have to take, and I understand. I'm not justifying anything, but I do understand brothers as living in this system of racism, white supremacy.
Mm-hmm.
You have to walk around less than a lot. And
Yeah.
so when you go talk to a woman, especially a black woman, and she is degrading or flagrant verbally, yeah, it might stir something up in you. And I'm not saying I don't understand. It might stir
It might
something
get
up
the
in you.
fire going.
But then you need to go in and take that energy and apply it to some hustle. Apply it to bettering yourself. Apply it to building something, bettering your team.
So next
Because
time she see you, it's like, oh, I didn't know he was gonna be like that. Yeah, you did.
I mean, you seen the Michael B. Jordan clip, and I'm not a huge fan of the Michael B. Jordan clip where Shorty said something. She was interviewing him, and he was like, "Oh, you called me the corny kid back in the day."
Yeah.
And he
No,
kind
I'm okay
of
with it.
fake. He's slightly stunning on her a little bit, and it wasn't. I'm not. That's not the way I would handle it. But there are some brothers who, that stuff cuts deep, sisters. So y'all got to remember also that,
Yeah,
like, you got to be
it's a
careful with
double-edged
your
sword.
language. Yeah,
Yeah,
but under no
you can,
circumstance,
and
under
that's
no
another thing I'm gonna
circumstance.
say to you queens and you sisters.
Mm-hmm.
You can reject someone and still, not get crazy with it. Not saying she did. I don't know what she did. Like I said, I didn't see a video of it or nothing like that. But keep that in mind. Like I said, the brother is making himself vulnerable in the situation. And you can be like, no, thank you, I'm not in this. Whatever the case may be.
I mean, you got to be open. Like you said, you got to be open to whatever it is. If you put yourself out there, you put yourself out there. You can't be mad.
Yeah. So brothers, like that doesn't give you the right.
Nah, her response is
So
her response.
I'm not taking up for the brother who gets verbally crazy or
absolutely
the brother who gets physical with it. No, I'm not taking up for y'all.
No, that ain't cool.
That's not okay. I mean,
at all.
Like I said, you try to my bad. I don't even know what the fuck that's for. If you try to you try to roast me, you try to really make me look bad.
I'm cool. See, that's the thing, and it's usually the younger brothers, because the older brother, like, I've been in the game for a little while, been a little bit of this, did a little bit of that. I've been places where a woman I try to talk to a young lady, and she like give me a little funky look or say something slick, and I've learned, because this has also been my recourse, and it's also put me back in the game, and maybe this is a tip, maybe this is not, to go ahead and kill that ass with kindness even more. So if she's like, nah, bro, your head mad big, get out my face, I'm like, my bad, queen, I didn't mean to disturb your space. Right? Give her another compliment and bow out gracefully. And sometimes that might open the door back to you. But under no circumstance.
You know how to give it a look beforehand. This way she don't say
there are many tips, and maybe someday we could do a podcast and teach y'all young brothers about something if y'all want to learn something. But
I'm asking you. I don't know how to do that.
You got to hold.
Me.
Oh, yeah. All right, cool. I'm glad we got that out of the way. Only one and only.
That's a podcast. That's a podcast for another day too. Women, are y'all cool with approaching a brother?
She was your one, your only, your everything, and she's the champion of all your dreams. Yeah. Okay, cool.
She's the landscape of femininity.
Beautiful. Anyway, under no circumstances, and I need to say this and reiterate it a number of different times, we are not abusing nor physically nor verbally women. That's coward shit. So that's not what we're doing. Go find another one. That's not
like it's cool. And the crazy part is he probably did something like hype himself up in front of his friends, like, yo, watch me go bag.
Sometimes masculinity can be a motherfucker, but if you're going to be masculine and you're going to live in manhood, you got to learn how to do that.
Yeah,
that's a skill.
I mean, like I said, as a black man in America, there's a lot of things that's embarrassing.
And I get it. I said that. Yeah, I get it.
And that's beyond just trying to court a woman and things like that.
No doubt.
Striving every day to provide for your family. Sometimes, like the jobs we have to do and stuff like that.
I get it.
It is, but that don't give me the right to physically assault someone for rejecting my advances.
No doubt. To wrap this one up, before we do anyway, I want to give a shout out to Shikari. because she stunning on y'all motherfuckers one time. Because y'all tried to,
Let's
y'all really
take a
tried to.
L, but tonight I bounce back.
Y'all really try to, and we're not gonna let this podcast go without
women in
shout,
that
for sure.
energy and
Shout out to her.
that age
Shout out
group
for everything she's about and everything she exudes. That sister is on code. She's that.
I'm hyped behind that.
That sister's on code, and she represents for the community. And I respect her hustle. I respect her grind, and I couldn't be more proud of her.
And then she won with
her
grace.
Win. Exactly.
She won with grace. Like, you feel me? Like she took a bad L a few years back on something. She went down bad, and then she won with grace, and that shout out to her. I think her brother won too, right? Did he not win on it?
Yeah, there's a brother named Noah
something.
Lyles. He was talking nonsense about the NBA. We'll get into that.
Nah, he wasn't. But you're right. We'll get into that. What he said, whatever, another day.
Nah, he was kind of being slick, but it's cool.
Nah, he was, but he wasn't. I got what he was saying.
Okay.
That's real shit.
But I just
it was more so of the the entitlement of the United States, and we'll get into that.
He's running for us. He's an American man.
Well, right. That's fine. So that's why he said, I am a world champion. I competed against the best in the world.
The NBA is the best in the world.
Yeah, but we're not competing against the best of every other nation.
It is. Luka Doncic. They all the best players. The best basketball. No, because this is the bullshit that he tried to say too. And that's ridiculous. The best basketball players in the world play in the NBA.
Team USA and go kick somebody else's ass, and then we say I'm a world champion.
No, stop. And we win it at will. We don't even send our good people to play internationally anymore. I think we got like Rudy Gobert playing international. We don't even send our
women's football team USA.
Yeah, we don't even send our good players to play anymore because it's just not fun. But let's not sleep. Don't forget when we sent the Dream Team to handle shit, and it was like, man.
Did you hear the story about the Dream Team like losing to like college kids?
I didn't know what Dream Team were you talking about?
Yeah, they just didn't put it out there.
Jordan Dream?
They just didn't put it out there. They lost.
Like for real?
It was like a scrimmage or whatever.
Go ahead and post it on it. Well, look for that.
I'm gonna see if I can find it. I forgot
tomorrow or something. Look for that. But again, the NBA is world basketball. Hence Luka, hence Tony Parker, hence all the greats. If you're great at basketball, you know where you're going to play ball. You're coming to us, the US of A.
So, like I said, just do it on the world stage and then call yourself a world champion.
Go ahead and wrap it up, man. We do it. Kevin Durant just won a gold medal 4 years ago, I think, right?
Before I wrap it up, have you ever actually listened to Sexy Red?
I have.
Like clips and stuff. I was listening to it today, and I'm like, I listened to 4 songs today.
You like it? It got you going?
No. I'm not knocking, somebody getting their bag and, getting to it, but like, what are we talking about now in music?
I'm not going here. Are you going?
What are we talking about? Shout out to her. Listen. Shout out to her getting her bag.
Thank you. Because that's where I'm going. That's where I'm going.
What are we talking about?
I'm not. I don't have.
I'm older now, so that could be it. I'm an old guy, but I'm gonna wrap it up on this. This time I'm gonna wrap it up, and it's crazy because it's not really gonna be about.
Shout out to Sexy Red.
Shout out to Sexy Red. Get your bread, shorty. I'm not mad.
Get all of that. Get all of that.
Get that money. If they're gonna keep paying you, keep doing it.
Every dime. But don't forget what the game is.
See, somebody
get your coins.
Not talking about anything. People just like the beats.
That's cool.
And that's the problem. People don't realize, and not just Sexy Red. So this is not a knock on her, but it's a lot of low vibration music in general. We think
it's low vibration.
We think that it's just the beats. We just loving these beats, but these words are still seeping into you. The other day I'm not gonna.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it.
We'll talk about something. I'll tell you about that.
Wrap it up, wrap it up.
I'm gonna wrap it up on this right here. And to my people out here hustling and doing your thing, including people like Sexy Red, set your price and live your life, and don't let anybody lowball lowball you on your worth and what you're worth. Know your worth and charge tax. And what I mean, reason I brought that up, last week a guy contacted me about DJing at a club, which is about an hour and a half away from where I live. So I gave him my price. I didn't even charge him for travel and setup or nothing like that. I just gave him my 4-hour price, and his response was, "Oh well, I can't really pay that, this, that, and the third." I'm like, "Well, here's what we'll do. If I'm coming for Friday and Saturday, I'll knock off some money on it, this, that, and the third." And his response still was, "But you that price, it'll still take all my money." And I at this point, bro, no, this is my price. Either you pay it or you don't. If you don't, no love lost. If I'm in town, I'll stop at your club and get a drink or something. But so all my people that starting businesses and have businesses, don't be scared to set your price. And the people who are going to support are going to support regardless. And the people who aren't, they're not. And it's whatever. Like, yeah. That's what I got on that. And also, before I go, shout out to once again, we got some new content coming to you from the Primetime Fo Show.
No doubt. Shout out to Fo.
I want to say, she'll be live. Lil Bro be live Friday. I got to double check, but Fo will be live Friday. So go follow the Primetime Fo Show. Shout out to
no doubt. Catch it live. Yeah, catch
it live, and we definitely gonna be having uploads coming too.
No doubt. We're trying to put some production behind it.
We Ain't Done podcast.
No doubt.
A lot of people be showing us love, and we got to show it back. We got to pay it. So shout out to all these people, bro.
No doubt. They show us a lot of love. Really appreciate it. We ended kind of on a feathery note, but I mean, I got to bring it back to 3 black people were killed in Jacksonville not too long ago, and so that's a very serious thing, and a warning was put out by law enforcement officials or head political officials about possible HBCUs being targeted. Yeah. So these threats are real, and whether we want to. And I'm not saying you can't have these conversations with people and agree to disagree with people, but don't be a person that simply buries your head in the sand and then end up in a place where you're faced with in one of these situations that you're not prepared to defend yourself and make it back home to your family, because I think we all deserve that as Americans. And so continue to protect yourself and continue to protect the people in our community. And on that note, this podcast is all
done.
Done.
Peace.
Later, family.